So in today's video we are going to be making a eye coaster. Let's go! Right, we are back. So big shout out to Me Paintings, Veronica. What I'll do is I'll link her I'll link her YouTube channel and the video that I kind of watched to want to try this. So we're going to play around with a little bit of acrylic paint. And we're going to finish it off, of course, with resin. Now, what I want to do is create an eyeball on this piece of acrylic. I'm not sure if it's going to work. I'm filming this in case it does. And then once it's all dry, once our design is all dry, that will then fit into this mould. And then we can kind of finish it off with our resin. So I'm only using really cheap acrylic paints because it's all I've got. These are the Magic Fly. They come in a set of 20 from Amazon. Again, all the links I use, all the products I'll put in the description box below the video. So I've just got some mixing pots for my paints, and I'm just gonna, this has got like a protective film on. So what I need to do to begin with, just as a base, is peel that off. And we're going to paint that just white. So I've peeled off the top protector, but I'm leaving the bottom one on because that may be handy. I'm not sure yet. And I'm just going to use some tack to hold that in place. You'll see why, hopefully, in a little while. Hopefully it will work. So I might have to do this in 2 layers just to cover the piece completely, so there's no transparency. So whilst that's drying, I'm going to sort out my paints. That is the Ooh, what is that? What does that say? I don't know, it's blue. This one's easy. Deep sky blue. Purple. Sea green. And neon yellow. And then just a white. Now we do need to water these down slightly. Veronica used some solution. I'm very new to acrylic paints, so I'm just going to water mine down with a little bit of tap water. So I've added just a few drops. You'll find different colours will need different amounts, so it just wants to drop off the stick, not too runny. So you can see I've got mine on a mould and stuck to a cup. I'm just thinking if any excess falls off, it can dry it and I can use that for resin art. So Veronica starts by just pouring some white over the disc. So we're going to pour some into the centre. And then I think I'm just going to manipulate it all around until it's thoroughly spread. And then just with a stick, any kind of gaps around the edges, just push the paint just so that it's all covered. I hope this works. And then just let that self level for a few minutes, and we can just take our torch and just pop any of the bubbles. Not really going to matter. Just pop those bubbles. Ready for the next part. So now comes the fun part. I'm going to start with the dark blue. This is going to get messy. It doesn't matter. We're just going to spiral these colours around into the white. So add some of the purple. And then some of the yellow. Veronica used in this video, it's like a lime green, but I haven't got any. I could have mixed some colours up. And then we go back with the dark blue. Just try and get rid of that white outer edge. Doesn't matter if there's some gaps. Just come in again. Like so. Come with a bit more of the lighter blue. As always, massive shout out to my channel members, anyone new who's joined, and to anyone who's bought me a coffee or a super thanks. So what Veronica did next was just dragged her stick through the paint inwards, a bit like how you draw a balloon. And then out between the gaps. Like so. It's looking okay so far, guys. It's looking okay. And I have a lot of paint left, so I'm gonna have to do another one off camera. So this is the part I'm nervous about. Because it's not really stuck to my cup very well, and it's probably gonna lift off. I'm 99% sure it's gonna lift off with the towel, so I'm probably gonna have to try and grab the edges as I'm doing it, but we'll see. Let's just blast some of those bubbles quick. Okay, so paper towel over the top and just push it, dab it down slightly. I can already feel that disc moving. Again, I'm kind of only really recording this for my own good, unless it comes out really, really good. Probably got too much paint on there as well. So now we're going to grab each corner of our paper, just bring them up into the middle, and then carefully lift that away from the piece. It's gone a bit off center. Might be able to tip that and move it more into the middle. I think it's going to have to do. It's going to have to do. I'd like to have seen the colours going in more of a straight line, but that was due to me lifting the paper off. So you can see I'm now doing another quick one. I've sped this video up now. I wasn't quite happy with how the first one turned out. I could always use that for a cat's eye or a dragon's eye or something like that, but I wanted it more centered. So here it is all dry out after a couple of days. I can now touch this without any rippling or any damage to the piece. So now we need to start with our painting the detail side of things. So here are the Nick Pro paintbrushes that I'm using. Again, all links, everything I'm using are in the description box below. So I now draw around one of my paint bottles just to make the pupil. It's a little bit off center, but I'm not bothered for my first attempt. So once that is done, we then mix some blue with black, the same blue that I used at the beginning, and we're just blending that into the rest of the piece just to make it look a bit more 3D. And we do the same around the pupil just to give it a more natural, realistic look. And please don't think this is too technical for you. I mean, I'm not great with paints. This is my first ever attempt, and if I can follow Veronica's videos, then so can you. So if you are struggling with this video, be sure to go and check out Veronica's video in the description box below. So now I'm just going around that pupil with some black paint, and then we draw in some detail with some white paint. We chase this all the way around, and we almost want a kind of petal effect. So we just go around, just freehanding, just try and make it look as natural as possible, and then we're going to add some depth to this. I'm not sure what part of the eye we call this. I really don't know. But I am just following some of Veronica's steps from her video just to make it look a bit more natural. And I do go over this white again just to make it stand out a little bit more. And you can see some of the white that's already in the piece. I actually use that to kind of just make it look like it's supposed to be there anyway. So now we're just adding some white from the center, just to again make it look like an eye. Add some curvature to it as well, just to make it look like it's rounded and it's kind of the pupil is a bit more sunken in. Sorry, I am absolutely rubbish with voiceovers. So now you can see I'm just defining things. I'll go over that white again, and it almost looks like a flower with petals, and the black being kind of the flower head. So now we do the same with the same dark blue that we made on the inner side of that white line, and just use a dry brush just to blend that into the lighter blue. And we go around the whole piece, and any kind of lines that go further down towards the pupil we highlight just to make it look like it's overlapping. So now I'm just adding a few white lines around the piece. I don't go around the whole lot. And then I'm just defining these whiter inner lines. So now time for the reflection. I had to go over this a couple of times just to make sure that it was solid. So I just add one at the top here, and then a small dot inside the pupil, and then a little bit of a bigger one towards the top. And there I am, just touching that up. And you can see what I'm doing there anyway. Okay, I'm really happy with this for a first ever attempt as well. So what I need to do now is just wait for this white to dry, give it another coat, and then we are going to seal it up in a resin coaster. Okay, my resin is now mixed, and I've peeled the film off the back of the disc just to make sure. I'm really hoping this makes the colours pop. But I'm going to pour some resin in to begin with. Not too much. And you can see, I don't know if you can see actually, underneath this glass tray I have my heat mat. But I've got it on a really low setting, because what can happen, I have found out, is that on a larger surface area, if you speed up the process too much or too fast, it can ripple the top of the resin as it's curing fast. So just be careful. So I'm just going to spread that around, add a little bit more, and then we can insert our disc. And another reason why I'm doing this is just to make sure that my surface is as level as it can be, by watching the resin move around. I know I've tilted it, but I can kind of see over the next couple of minutes whether my surface is level. Okay, so I can carefully insert my disc into the resin and then just slowly lower it down, just to prevent lots of bubbles, because we don't want them seeping up through the sides of the disc. And just give that a gentle push down, center it. Now I'm not going to show me pouring the resin on top. I'm going to make you wait until it has cured, just in case it makes those colours pop. I will see you for the exciting part. So we are all done, it's fully cured. I'm really happy with this for a first go. As always, give the video a thumbs up. Please help with the algorithms. If you've skipped through the video and you've come to the end, please don't do that, because you're telling YouTube that my videos are just not worthy of watching. It would be a massive help if you could go back, go to that setting, hit 2 times, and get here the proper way. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that button for me. Right, I'm so chuffed with that. I could have gone over that white a bit more, but I added a really, I covered this just to make sure that there was no fibres that could land on the resin. And yeah, I'm super happy with that. You could do this on a smaller scale, you could do this on a bigger scale. If you want to see me try and do this in a pendant, then let me know in the comments. Right. Oh, it's so cool. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now.